隙ありだ。箱
俗物め。
それがツボだな。
周期。しつこいやつだ。やっ隙が多いぞ。
鮮血。
そこだ。引用創生。回避。気をつけろ。
ならず者め、生きたやろ。
歓喜。危ない。歓喜。具現。
ならず者め、箱。
私が来た。隙が多いぞ。一心。任せておけ。周期。開示。両親を共に滅す。知れ。せい。その。危ないぞ。やっはっはっ
生きたやろ。
私が来た。具現。何度来ても変わらんぞ。一心。隙が多いぞ。
隙ありだ。これ
そこだ。引用創生。命ずる。
好き勝手はさせない。鮮血。
任せておけ。この私が来た。具現。
隙ありだ。生きたやろ。
ここだ。歓喜。両親を共に滅す。知れ。せい。やっ
鮮血。
品続々入荷。寄ってらっしゃい、見てらっしゃい。
God, this is really kind of shit. So because of the way they changed their teleport system, we can no longer teleport. Basically, before, you could teleport. You press R1, it would bring up the fast travel menu, and you could teleport. But because they changed it, now bringing up the fast travel menu is no longer R1, it's pressing right on the D-pad, and they disable that button. You can't open it. So you can't open the fast travel menu. And the other way of traveling would be by touching the touchpad, which would open up the mini map. But they disable that too, as you can see. So basically, before, whenever they had the quest like this, it was like, oh, hey, you have a quest, cool. You press R1, you teleport exactly where they were. I think, I can't remember an instance where I had an issue getting around, and I can't remember an instance where I actually had to directly find a travel spot to actually go between zones, because there were times where it was oh, I had to go into the metro station to actually go. I'm sure, it's definitely more realistic in that sense. It just is more inconvenient, especially because this is not how it was before. It was oh, hey, you need to go there, boom, open up the fast travel menu, go exactly where you need to go, or to a fast travel spawn point close enough to where you need to go. Problem solved. So it is kind of annoying that they basically broke their old character quests by not allowing that. Now, to be fair, I only have 3 more, I think, including this one. It's just Qingyi or Shui's, Bernice's, and then Lighters, and then I'm done and caught up. I'll have done all of the character quests that are available to me, and then presumably for this and all future character quests, you'll be able to use the new system. They'll design the character quests around using the new system. In this case, they clearly were oh yeah, you can fast travel, They didn't put stipulations in it. They didn't add extra functionality because they're oh, well, no, you press R1, open the fast travel. Who gives a shit, right? So they didn't go back and were oh shit, actually we got to undisable this button, so that you can fast travel. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Most of the stuff does progress pretty linearly, or it's just going and finding the it does progress pretty linearly, so you just kind of go. For me, it was just yeah, I was at that location. All I had to do was just find the car. Find the car, and then that brings up the map. So I mean, it does bring up the map, and then from there I'm able to fast travel to the location. It just adds an extra step, so it's obviously not the end of the world, right? Oh no, you had to do one extra step. Is it annoying? Yes. Is it intentional? I doubt it. It really doesn't seem like it, because we didn't even have that map before. The actual 3D representation of the map. It was just purely, oh, you press R1 and here's a list of all the places you can teleport to. Here's a list of all locations, and then going into that location would have all the specific points you could teleport to. So it seems like they just created this new system, which is better. It is better, right? Like, it's definitely more future-proof in that the 3D map is, more helpful for when you need to find something specifically. And the teleport menu has been expanded. So rather than just having to go left and right on a list of ever-expanding zones you can teleport to, the fact that it's now a 3-row list, it's basically now a matrix that has 3 rows, and they can just keep adding columns for every new for new zones. So it's just easier to manipulate and slightly faster. Some aspects of it are a little faster the old way, but all in all, the new method is better. It just, for some reason, they changed the button mapping. I have no clue why, because like it used to be R1 opened up the fast travel menu, and now R1 does nothing. So it's like, why, right? Like, okay, sure, like, and maybe it's because they just wanted to have a smaller representation, because you can actually see like the right button on the D-pad right below the minimap. So maybe they just didn't want to have the R1. They didn't want to have to like use up the real estate to show the R1 button to keep it consistent as it was before. But the problem is because they swapped buttons and they disable a lot of stuff during. It's like I'm pressing R1 right now. R1, nothing happening. So they completely disabled it. And you can see right next to the trackpad button underneath the map, there is just left on the D-pad. Realistically, is it that hard to just swap that? Or right on the D-pad with an R1? Not really. So they could have done it. So it's hard to say why they made the change. Like why they just swapped button mappings. It's seemingly meaningless. Maybe there was a reason. Maybe it's more future-proofing the game, right? Maybe they think, hey, maybe they want to use the R1 button for something else. Because like R1 in Honkai Star Rail is the run button. So a portion of me was just hoping that they would swap. Because right now the way to run is just by pressing X, which is kind of annoying because pressing X is also the interact button. So the issue comes from the fact that you may be like, oh, okay, I want to go and run, but because there was a targetable thing close by when you selected run, you instead of running, target and interact with some object nearby. Which is like, no, I wanted to run. I wanted to start running so I could get to the next location, but because there just happened to be a targetable object nearby, pressing X to interact with it instead. And you're like, God damn it, So that's why it was kind of better in Honkai Star Rail, where it was like, yeah, you press R1. R1 is to toggle on and off dashing or running. Great. No other purpose for that button other than that, which is like, great, awesome. So if I want to run and go somewhere, it won't do unintended things. So that's why I was like, maybe they did that to swap. Like, no, still it's still X to interact and also X to start running or to toggle run walk.
見てよチーこれ店長殿何故このようなまさか全部外れそんな
Wait a minute, they said her name. Let me actually get her pronunciation correct.
って考えてたのに見てよチーこれぞ治安官補佐の実力ってね見てよチー
Qingyi.
これぞ治安官補佐の実力ってね
Qingyi.
見てよチー
Qingyi. I
これ
guess.
ぞ治安官補佐の実力ってね
I think I heard someone else say Shui. Although maybe that's how it's pronounced in Chinese. Maybe her name is pronounced Shui in Chinese. And since this is the Japanese person saying it, they pronounce it. They pronounce the characters as Qingyi. Yeah, whatever. I'll just say Qingyi then. Okay.
初めての調査であれば当然のこと。疑わしきは目につかぬと相場が決まっておるのだ。この映像の分析が済む？待たれよ。サイン入りのポスターだよ。そのような価値が。ふむ。店長サインはぼやけているものの、もしテディが落としたフォローの外にあるものだとはいえ、これで捜査はいく。そして我の方でも収穫があったぞ。テディが失踪した折、ここに疑わしき車両が止まっていたらしいのだ。もし失踪に関連しているのであれば、その車両からも早速確か治安官
Never break. Then how the hell do they park?
車両案の定、後輪からはそれじゃさっさと車。治安官補佐よ。慌てるでな。確かにエーテル残留物は疑わしい。かような汚染は原因が実にさまざ案ずるでない。この車両チーの体って主演のやつにもよくそのように諌められるわ。誰も彼もがその調子なんだ。明らかに命なき存在。市民を助けるのは治安。つまるところ知能機械とは、例えば我には 01NG6 操作用玉偶などという高尚な型番があるが、少しばかり機能の複雑なボンプと変わらぬ生や死といったものに関して。
Yeah, I'm curious if they're going to go more in depth about like these robots, because like she's not the only one. There definitely are a lot of other robots in the world, and then Bangbus are also robots. But like Bangbus are treated like pets. So, but like she's, I don't know, kind of treated like a person, but like kind of not. Because like, I don't know. The issue is that she doesn't really treat herself as a person. So I'm not unsure if that's how robots in general are treated. Like, is this just how artificial intelligence are treated? But it also feels like it's not, because like we have the lady from Bardic Needle, clearly a robot, but also, you know, very emotional. She has her own emotions. She has a business. So it's like, it does seem like they're treated as people, but then Qingyi doesn't seem to treat herself as a person. So, and like treats herself more like an object. So I'm just like, is it just her personality? Or is this something like maybe police automatons don't have as much free will? Like maybe they're programmed to have less of a sense of self, less of a sense of free will, so that they can sacrifice themselves if necessary. You know, because like Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics, it's like, yeah, sure, the first 2 is like, you know, it's only the third one that has to deal with self-preservation. You know, first one is like, what was it like? It's like, first one is like, you can't, crap, I think I might be missing the first for a second. I think the first one is first one is always like, obey humans. Actually, no. I think the first one is you can't harm humans either through action or inaction. And then the second one is always obey humans unless it would contradict the first law. I think that was it. The first law was don't harm humans, either actively or passively. And then the second law, because the laws reference each other. They're like, yeah, second law is you have to obey humans, but you can't obey them unless it contradicts the first one. So you can't be ordered to harm someone, or you can't be ordered to let someone be harmed, because that contradicts the first law. And so that would be an invalid thing. And then the third one is self-preservation, unless it contradicts the first 2 laws. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of hard to say. Like, is there a sense of self? Like, because it's hard to kind of extrapolate how they treat non-human life forms in this world. Like the Bardic Needle seems to say, hey, they treat them like humans. They have the same rights as humans, it seems. Like, she seems to be the owner of the store. So, you know, she has to have her own ownership rights, so they have to recognize a sense of self then. And it could just be that Qingyi could just be weird, right? She could just be programmed weird. Her personality just could be a weirdo, you know? And that's why she acts like this. Or it could be, this is just how all police bots act, because they do need them to be able to just, like, not care too much about self-preservation. To be like, no, like, we're going to reduce their sense of self so that they can work harsher conditions and sacrifice themselves if need be. Hard to say. And like the fact that she equates the Bangbu, but even Bangbu aren't treated like people. They honestly are just treated like pets. Like, it seems like they're not nearly as complex, so you could say they're maybe just more rudimentary AI. Whereas these actual automatons are like have self-awareness. Although it seems like the Bangbu have their own sense of self-awareness too. So so it could just be that their intelligence is like just naturally limited by their size. Maybe their size only limits like what their processing power could be. So it's like they basically just can only simulate the level of a child. And I don't know, kind of hard to say. And then for these fully humanoid ones, they actually have a proper intelligence and are treated as people. But it is kind of hard to say because we never really talked about it. They've never really it clearly, because they do tell us how. Oh my God, Jesus fucking Christ! Why the fuck would you not interact with the? Yes, you have to be on the side of the car, not in front of it. No. You have to be at the side. That's the only way you're close enough to the actual interactable point. Annoying. Anyway, so yeah, they didn't really talked about it. It's clear from how everyone acts, Bangbu aren't really treated as people, and they are treated more like pets. And I think they even do have actual owners. We had the Bangbu pageant, and it was they talked about Bangbu's owners, so they definitely seem like pets. And I guess it's just certain levels of intelligence determine how you're treated in society. But Qingyi has always kind of treated herself. Oh, I see. Hey, yeah, this is just cutscenes, and I assume this has to be combat. There's never been a character quest that does not have combat, but this one does not because it doesn't give you an idea of the. If it had combat, it would say, "Oh, here's elements that are strong, and what the recommended level is." So. Yeah. So yeah, she's kind of a weird one, and so she's the only police bot we know. So it's just hard to tell. Is she just weird, or are all police bots kind of weird? I mean, it's also kind of weird that they would make her a child, right? Why? Actually, no, I guess it's not super weird, right? It's weird in a way, right? But I can imagine that having a child-sized robot would help in delicate and sensitive situations where you have to deal with children or female victims of crimes. Having another woman and even a young woman might be able to provide them sense of relief and comfort, or at least not trigger trauma. That's generally why female cops are the ones that actually placate crime victims, because they might have trauma against men or whatever. So maybe in that way it makes a little sense. But you could still just make her an actual woman, an actual adult. Although, I don't know. I mean, she could be more of a mascot, too, where it's like, yeah, she deal with child crimes and stuff. Or assist child crimes.
あなたが陳位治安官ですね。
Or I don't know, is there like a specific department for that? Hard to say. But maybe, yeah, maybe that's what she was designed for. I don't know. It's kind of interesting because, like, how are they so they're, I mean, obviously created. Obviously, she's a robot. So someone had to have created her. And is it just like you install something like a positronic brain, and then they wake up, have self-awareness, and like they're a citizen now or something? Like, it is kind of interesting. See how it will go.
しばしま
さっさと言ってしまっ
陳位テディをまだ助けられるよ
Okay. Yeah, see, like, yeah, I mean, it does, like, it seems like a pet, right? It's like, oh, whoops, pet died, I'll just buy a new one, right? And just say, hey, here's your. This one is actually even worse because, like, they can find an identical one. So, like, the very fact is, like, yeah, here's another one, just replace it. Like, it is heavily pet coded. You know, where it's just like, yeah, they seemingly have some level of intelligence because they do communicate. But they are very childlike. And that's kind of like what pets are, really. Like, pets are fucking stupid, right? Pets are fucking dumb. They are not as intelligent as humans. People might try to anthropomorphize and be like, no, my dog, my cat is just like a real person. He acts like this. It's like, no, they aren't. I'd say, like, pets, dogs, cats have, like, you know, the level of intelligence like a child, too. They can do rudimentary problem solving, but ultimately they're pretty stupid. And you wouldn't really trust them to do shit because they're dumb. Just like a child. And, like, I'm talking about, like, a 2 or maybe even a 3 to 5 year old, right? Like, that's basically the level of intelligence that a pet might have. And that's kind of like where these Bangus kind of are as well. Maybe like a little older. Maybe they're like the intelligence level of a 7-year-old or something. But yeah, it does bring up the question of like, you know, not too smart, obviously, still. So you wouldn't want to give them citizens' rights because you wouldn't give us, you know, you wouldn't call a 7-year-old a citizen either. You wouldn't be like, yeah, you're 7 years old, you're an adult, you can vote, you can sign contracts. It's like, no, clearly not. So maybe that's why they're just not treated. So, I mean, so we clearly kind of treat maturity and intelligence as kind of a barometer for adulthood, both for humans and robots, it seems, in this case. Although, it's just never really been explicitly said. It's kind of implied, because obviously, as I said, like the Bardic Needle Lady is treated like a full-fledged member of society. She owns a shop. I guess the only thing that just contradicts it is just how Qingyi treats herself. And so it's hard to tell if this is just her personality. Because like, you get those, even for humans, you get those, you know, low self-esteem humans who are just like, you know, think really shitty of themselves, or don't really think of themselves as like, as good as normal people. They're like, oh man, I just can't, I'm not as good as this person, I'm not as good as, I'm the worst, like, oh, I can't do anything right. You have that, so it's that kind of level of pessimism to a degree. And she just used the fact that she's a robot as like the reason behind it. Yeah, and there's like this stuff, you know? I mean, to be fair, that is true, right? Like, you don't need, you can replace bodies, no problem. But I think there was another instance too where she was basically very cavalier about taking damage. She was like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. I think she was like stabbed or something, or like she injured a leg or something, or a limb of some sort. And she was just like, yeah, whatever, I'm just gonna replace. She's like, I mean, true, you are a robot, but it also just shows a level of lack of care, right? Like, she's like not caring enough about herself. And it's like, if you don't have that level of self-preservation, that, I mean, for a human, it would indicate low self-esteem. But like, technically, it's like, I mean, for a robot, I mean, it's more pragmatic, sure. You know, if I was a robot person and I got my arm injured, it's like, is there a real reason to care that much that my arm was injured? It's like, no, like, you can just get a replacement arm or go to a repair shop and get it fixed. Like, it's not a huge issue. So I guess it is kind of silly to try to put our own human idea of self-preservation and apply it to a robot. And so maybe, and like, we haven't really seen other like robots in this game ever get injured. Obviously, as a police person, as a police bot, obviously she's just far more likely for this to happen. So who knows? Maybe all robots have this level of pragmatism where it's like, oh shit, my arm got crushed. I'll just get it replaced. No worries. I'll go by the shop next week and see if I can get it replaced. And I'm totally fine walking around with a mangled arm like for a week.
以下が見つかりました。結果1、旧バージョンのボンプちゃんは結果2、旧バージョンのボンプは結果3、旧バージョン以上の3件に従って外観を改造すれば旧バージョンのテディを再現できる。
一体どこからこんな奇妙な投稿を見つけ。
フェアリーはマスターに人は
なればやるべきことは明らか。
But then we have like Fairy as an example. Clearly, she seems intelligent, right? Like, she seems to have a human level of intelligence, but she's not treated like a human at all. You know? So, do you have to have a body? Do you have to have a physical form? But then, like, again, if we were using, you know, maturity and intelligence as a barometer for whether or not you should be considered an adult, then, you know, shouldn't even shouldn't the non-physical AIs also have similar rights? Although maybe you don't need rights, you know, like for that, because it's like they don't have a body, so they don't have the same needs as an actual human. So should you afford them the same rights as humans when just a lot of them wouldn't apply just for the very fact that they don't have a body? But like, you know, should she be able to vote? Should she be able to own a shop? I mean, you'd say hard to own a shop without a physical body. But then again, it's not like even the owners of shops need to be in their shop, right? Like, you can buy a shop and then hire workers. So the owner of a business doesn't necessarily even need to ever show up at that business. They can just leave it up to managers, leave it up to their managers and people they hire. So it's like, you don't really need that. Now, obviously, there are some things like marriage or something like that. It's like, yeah, sure, you actually need a body for marriage. You know, you could argue maybe you don't, right? Marriage is, I mean, I don't know. Like, there are legal distinctions for marriage, so it's like, sure, you don't really need a body. Like, if two intelligent beings, you know, want to tie the knot. But a lot of the legal benefits that you get from marriage, like, have to do with like health insurance and like ownership rights post-death, and like if you're in the hospital, if you're married to them, you can go, you're considered family, you know, you're considered a family, so you can go in with them. But like, a lot of these things are still require a body. So it's kind of hard to say. I mean, and like, this is not what the game is about. So like, do they have to go into this level of detail? You know? Do you have to? You know, do you really need that level of detail? Like, Qingyi is really the only, I think she is the only robot, right? You have no other robotic companions. And she has her eyes. Yeah, like, she's the only actual robot. Oh, actually, no, Billy is. Billy's one too. That's an interesting question too. Like, he acts so silly that it's hard to take him serious, but he is a full-fledged robot, and he, you know, he acts like a human, seems to be treated like a human. He can go to shows and own stuff, kind of. And in fact, like his arm, Caesar using Caesar robot arm. Yeah, I think. Her hand is robotic, and I think her hand is her left hand is the same kind of robot arm Billy has, or at least same model. Oh yeah, you can see. She has a similar arm to Billy, and Billy was part of their gang at some point, so it's like, it's kind of hard to tell, right? Because it's like, like he's treated as part of the Cunning Hares organization, but realistically, we don't really see him out and about that much. Even in his like trust events, it's usually just him gushing about, his interests. He definitely does seem human, But yeah, they haven't really gone. I mean, and we got a little more in depth with the Bardic Needle lady, because like during that movie event, it was like we learned a little bit more about her, so that was pretty cool. So that was kind of, and we learned how robots lived and all. So it does seem like they are treated as human. This kind of contradicts how she treats herself, but who knows? I mean, just like humans are different, AI can be different too. So I guess she just is more pragmatic. A pragmatic sort.
お尻もね、ホリーが塗った接着剤が全然取れなくて、後に主はテリーのことを良いか？今回はそこにおる新人治安官。そうなの。しかしこのチンイーお姉さんはかくなる上は我み本当も本当。まことさときこよ。たとえミメがウリフタ、やはりテリー2号は。
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of true. Although it is, I don't know. It's kind of tough, right? Because like, if we get his memory, like, if you transfer someone's entire personality and memory into another body, right? Like, let's say you create a clone of their body, and then you transfer their consciousness over to it. Like, for all intents and purposes, that's the same thing. Hell, yeah, maybe that cloned body won't have all the scars, the physical scars. Like, yeah, maybe, maybe the two of you got into a car accident and left him a long, scar on his arm, and his cloned body doesn't have that. But if it's like his personality, because like if we're transplanting the entire personality and memory of one into a new body, like, honestly, like, that's the same. I think of it as the same. Like, the physical body is mostly irrelevant. Sure, like, the shared experiences, yeah, the shared experiences, but you were just literally talking about how, and even if we could retrieve Teddy's memory, it would be different. It's like, well, no, if you get his memory, like, that can be replicated. The shared experience, it's in both of their memories. Her memory's still there. If you get his memory back, then yes, you can replicate that. Memories are data. You can 100% replicate shared experiences. Now, you might not be able to replicate, well, I mean, you could, in theory. If a shared experience left a scar, you could recreate a similar scar, but let's ignore that. The fact is that, I mean, life is replaceable. It's not like perfectly replaced. Like, you can replace a life with a life, but yes, a specific life you can't. But like, I don't know, it's kind of weird because like when you're talking about robots, you actually can replace them in their entirety. If we find his personality chip in his memory bank, install it into a new body, that is literally the same thing. I mean, I could get if its case doesn't look the same, like if you put it in a different body, like especially for Bang Boos, right? Like if it were taking this Bang Boo and we took his personality and put it into the shark one, yeah, sure, I get it, right? You put it, the body looks 100% different, so understandable. But We're taking, I mean, and we don't have his personality, so that is one thing. So we don't have, yeah, see, here we go. Average enemy level, stuff like that. That's the one that lets you know there's going to be combat in it. So yeah, we don't have his memories, so obviously it's a moot point. But like, my point is that if we had his memories, it would be the same thing, you know? So I think, like, life is irreplaceable, and the reason why real life is irreplaceable is because we can't copy the way they can. Like, for machine life, it's like, if you're able to copy their entire personality into a new body, that is, yes, you are clearly able to replace it perfectly. That is like, it is the same entity, you know? It's the same person as it was, because you've copied the personality. The reason why real life is not replaceable is simply because we can't do that at the moment. We can't copy and back up our consciousness and put it into a new body, you know? And that's why life is irreplaceable. So, I mean, I get what they're trying to say, but I think that is also kind of wrong because of like how life is. But yeah, so I assume that Qingyi went inside the hollow. It was like, oh, we found word that she went to a hollow, and we're probably going to dive into the hollow and chase after her.
さっきも陳意に連絡したんだけれど。
キャロットの申請も通ってないのに。
I also never really quite understood this, right? Why they call it a carrot? You know? Like, I understand, like, yeah, Eos looks like a bunny. He has little bunny ears. So it's understandably like, oh yeah, you have carrots for bunnies. But, like, most Bangbus don't look like bunnies. So why is it still called a carrot? When it's like, realistically, what it is just, it's the coordinates. It's, or a map, right? It's a map and coordinates of a hollow. Which is like, well, I don't know why they call it a carrot. And they never really explained it. And I think it probably just came from, like, their first concepts of Bangbus were probably bunnies. So they're just like, oh, we'll call them carrots then. Bunnies like carrots. And then they just expanded upon the Bangbu concept and made a variety of Bangbus, which no longer look like bunnies, which kind of dilutes the idea that they're bunnies and bunnies have carrots. And I'm pretty sure they never really explained why it's called like that. It's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, it is what it is type. And it's like, because everyone accepts it and understands and recognize it as that, that's just what it is. And basically, if they would just redefine the definition of carrot to mean map and coordinates of a hollow. It also kind of weird, right? Oh, she needed the carrot to be approved. You're like, what? Why? Like, why would you need approve? Like, if a carrot is just the map and coordinates of a hollow, what is there to be approved? Like, approved. Like, I understand being reviewed, sure. You know, it needs to be evaluated. It needs to be reviewed to make sure that you're... shit. So it was fire, physical, and power. I guess I could go. Her. She is not happy with that. So I need electric. So I could go her. Could go Silver 7. And honestly, I could even argue it in aspects. I mean, I couldn't just do Astra. Can I do Astra too? Oh, she's still smiling. Okay, fuck it. She still gets her bonus. I forget what. I think Astra was you have to be in her faction or have an attacker. Isn't that it? I think that's what triggers her bonus. And Soldier Zero is an attacker. Actually, wait, no, her faction, that would make no sense, because the only one in her faction is Evelyn, who is also an attacker. I mean, or maybe it's Element. It could be Element as well, because I think Because I've used Astro with Yishuan, who's Rupture, but does share the same element. Whatever. Either way, it doesn't matter. She's a smiley face, that's all that matters.
Qingyi 治安官。
なんと意外といいやつでそんなショックまあよい主の助けが状況を教えよう我は今事件への関与疑わしき
But yeah, like I would understand if it was like, oh, whoops, we need to like evaluate a carrot, but like, why would you need to approve it? Like, it's like a map. It's like, hey, I have this map. It's like, oh, I need to go hit the map needs to go through approval process. It's a fucking map. Just review it. Is it a valid map? Yes, no? Okay, cool. And I mean, you could argue that that is the approval. The approval of it, if it's a valid working map. Seriously, I forget when they stopped doing television shit. This could be the last one for all I know. I can't remember because like pretty much no one liked it. It was just so excessively time consuming, and like didn't really provide enough like value to it. So it's hard to say. Yeah, people just generally just. Oh, okay, no, I can't. Oh, I see. Because it was a narrow crevice, only AS is able to go through. Anyway, and that's why she stayed behind. Anyway. So. Oh, I see. Just follow us. I mean, she could just. Oh, I see. We gotta think. See this shit. Actually, shit. Maybe I should have. See. Oh, I see. It disabled it. Whatever. Anyway. Yeah, so people just didn't like the television. It takes too much time. Like, normally it's like, okay, you read the sentence, you hear what they say, and then you can continue on, right? But the problem is that, like, it's assuming... It just assumes you take, like, 5 seconds to read even the most simple... Like, these are all very, very basic sentences. Like, you don't need 5 seconds to read all that shit. You know? Like for this, the second I read it, I can press X, I can continue. You know? Boom, done, done, done. You know? And so that's why, like, these are fine. Because once you read it, you can move on. Whereas televisions, it's like, yeah, you hear it, and it just takes for fucking ever to move on to the next. It takes basically, easily takes twice as much time. They give you, like, twice as much time to read it to continue. Which I guess it's fine if you're like maybe a streamer and you're like narrating everything. So when Fairy was speaking, if you yourself was speaking along with it to narrate it yourself, sure, that gives you enough time, right? Because it takes you far less time to read. But like, who designs it like that, right? And especially for like other television events where you're stuck in the television for so long. Yeah. When you're stuck in the television for so long, doing these very long quest sequences, you know, and every single bit of dialogue, you know, is like a literal 5-second wait. Like, it kind of sucks when it takes you 1 second to read it, and then you have to wait 4 seconds every fucking time. It just ruins the flow of everything. Uh-oh. God, I was gonna say, holy shit, that was bad. You're gonna be like, oh no, it got hung. Because, like, when this patch came out, it had some really bad performance problems. Like, even now, you can see it's getting, like, hung and stuck and stuff. Actually, I had forgotten about this. Because like there was one quest I was doing that like it hung so many fucking times. Like that's not good. What the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? Fucking headbutting me? Oh fuck. Like that. Like what is with those weird delays? You know? Now I had forgotten about it because they had improved a little bit. But now it's kinda like what the fuck? Like that. What is it with those weirdly long delays? So yeah, like it's just like super long delays. It didn't used to have like it used to be really bad when the game first released, but I was also playing like the new event, and it was also in this big 3D zone. So I'm like, okay, maybe they just didn't optimize it properly. But then it was also super weird when I was going back into like, oh yeah, that was it. I was doing Hollow Zero, but I was doing the old version of Hollow Zero in the televisions because I want some points for it. Like I want to max out the points that I never really did before, and it was just I think during one iteration of that, it like crashed like at least 3 times. Actually, wait. No, yeah, it was the old version. I don't remember if it was I thought it was I was thinking it might be the new version. I'm like, no, it was the old version, and it was like fucking insane how much it crashed. It was fucking crazy. It's like I beat the boss, and then it hung. It was like trying to load the next zone, and it hung. I had to quit the game, and then I progressed through the next floor, got to the second floor boss. As I'm trying to go load the second floor boss, it hung again, and I had to quit the game to restart it. Then, luckily, I mean, it's an online game, so it did remember my spot. So I go back in. I'm right in front of the second boss, so I go into the second boss, beat the second boss, and trying to load the third floor. After beating the second boss, it hangs again. And this is the exact same thing that happened on the first floor. Beating the first floor boss had it hang when trying to load the next zone, the next floor. And then I think it hung once more after that as well. I was like, I think it was like, or at the very least it was those 3. It might have been a fourth one, but I literally had to restart my game every single time to get back in and do it. It was like fucking annoying. And basically these are the kind of performance problems I've had when playing this game since they did the new patch. Since the 2.0 patch, like there's been so many performance problems. Like the day of the patch, like I had performance problems just loading the stamina spending shit. I'm like, oh, I need to farm some money. Okay, so I go into the money virtual reality farming thing where, you know, you beat a bunch of enemies, spend 100 stamina for it, and you get some money. Like I beat the enemies, it shows the wipeout screen, and then there's just literally 10 seconds of dead air where it's just like it just is doing nothing. Wipeout screen disappears, and then you just wait for 10 seconds before it finally shows you, okay, here's the rewards you got. I'm like, what? Like, these were instantaneous. Usually it was like the second the wipeout screen disappears, you instantly see the rewards. And this is like the basics. This is the basic shit of the game, right? Like, this is the stuff that unlocks almost immediately into the game, because this is how you farm all the materials you need to level up your characters. And so it was hanging there. And like, this is like the first thing I did when the patch came out. This is like the patch came up. I'm like, cool, I'm here. It's time to spend all my stamina. And then I can, start the story type shit. And so it was already hanging at that point. And then there was definitely like frame drops when in the new zone, but like, at least for that it makes sense, because it's like they're going from this kind of like very restricted zone layout for everything, where it's like, yeah, every city is a small little map, so you don't have to load much. not a huge amount of pressure on the system. But then they had these big, huge zones where you had these big sprawling maps where you're going around fighting enemies, unlocking shit and stuff like that. You know? So I'm like, I kind of get, it's like, sure, maybe it's not perfectly optimized there, but when it was like failing and hanging, doing the other shit of the game, it's like, how did you fuck up the game so much that you're affecting systems that have been in your game since forever? And that's why oh shit, wrong thing. Oh, never mind again. That's why when people like criticize Final Fantasy, you'd be like, oh, you should just fix this, fix the friend list, fix this, fix that. It's like, dude, these are core systems in the game. Like, you fuck around with that, who knows what the fuck could happen? And then, you know, and if it's not even modular, you might not even be able to do that. You'd have to like redesign the entire infrastructure so that you can replace the one portion of it that you want to optimize. Even if that's possible too, because like people say the friend list sucks, which does, and it takes forever to load. It's like, yeah, because what it's doing is it's connecting to the server and then looking up every single one of your friends to get their status and information. And realistically, it just should stop doing that. Like, that's what you gotta stop. Just, hey, don't load any of their data until I manually request it. Right? Like, maybe just show online status, but even that, it's like, it's a query to the server where it has to go through your list, has to query every single one of those players, and then stream their data back to you. Obviously, it takes a while. And, like, people can compare it to WoW, which, of course, is incredibly stupid, because WoW doesn't even do that. And you may be like, what? No, they totally do. It's like, no, WoW doesn't. Battle.net does. Battle.net is a program outside of WoW that manages your Blizzard friend list, and all WoW does is access Battle.net. Battle.net is keeping all your friends' information up to date and current, and WoW just accessing that. You know? So realistically, Final Fantasy could do something like that if Final Fantasy added a separate program to run and maintain your friend list, you know, so that all the in-game friend list would need to do is access this already active program that's maintaining it. Sure, you know, you could do that. But the problem is that, like, can you do that on console? Hard to say, probably not, right? Because, like, for consoles, like, you just have the one game, right? Like, you can't really have a separate program. So maybe you'd have to, like, include it in the game files. You know, include the program running alongside the game. I don't know. And then, you know, and then of course, since it's constantly accessing the servers, you know, there's going to be additional load on the servers for everyone, because every player is going to be accessing it constantly to keep their friend list up to date. There's so many, like, convoluted bullshit about this shit that from a gamer perspective, they're just like, yeah, sure, it's super easy, just make it better. And it's like, no, it's not that easy. It's actually very tough. You know? What? How the fuck is this happening? Like, what? How is this? Like, why is she floating? Like, I get the connection, right? I understand the idea that they can connect, sure. What's super weird is how are they floating? Anyway. But yeah, so like there's so many reasons why you can't do... Oh shit, wrong way. God damn it. I'm actually curious if I can... Oh, I see, I can trigger again. Okay, so what happens if I do this? Okay, so since we got here. That's fine. Okay, what happens if I go the other way, though? Is there anything over here? Ah. Oh, I see. Okay, that's fine. I was wondering if there was going to be another one of those thingies. One of those, one of those 3 things you can get per level. I didn't see any other ones here, so I'm like, I just want to make sure I'm not missing it before I continue on. So yeah, I mean, definitely gamers don't understand how games work, and they can create unrealistic demands because of that,
さすがは
which is
マ
like,
スターけ
it's fine, you know? I don't know. I don't know, actually. It's not really a job for us, right? This is more for her.
これ
Because, like, she's a robot. Like, we definitely do access, like, we actually, I guess maybe it is more for us because we're a Bangbu. Like, we access Bangbus all the time, but, like, is that really what a proxy does?
ガブットボンプを隠し通路のスイッチにするとは
One.
パスワードを入力してから開けゴマ。
Okay, that's easy enough. Anyway, so yeah.
ガブットボンプに手がかりが存在する確率は
I can't do it yet.
99%
Anyway, so-
です
Oh, wait. Oh, it's.
なんときっとなん
あなた様はガブットボンプに条件張り紙の下に肯定
Oh, yeah, I guess.
手がかりはもう判明した思考空間から出てよいぞ
There you go. Anyway.
隠し通路を開くにはパスワードを入れればよいぞプロキシ
Oh, shit.
よもや忘れてはおるまいな
パスワードは確か
開けま
Yeah. Those shoots are just for the digits. Oh, I don't have the points yet.
注意マスターた提案
I'll just do
映
one. Fuck it.
画チンピラの
I have Astra. Wait, what? I have not enough? Oh.
これほどのボンプを全て助け出さねば
Oh, it's two. Okay, let's go back. God damn it. Oh, I see.
指定された
I pressed down too many times going there that I...
認証成功ドアが開きます通知イアスのこのボンプは
さっきのガブボンプラを角分か完全に壊れまだ意識があるで完全に壊れておるこのボンプの顔は完全に壊れておる救助が済んだ
マスター完全にね
我は治安軍
Yeah, here's the second one. I was assuming that the last one would be, but I guess this one's going to be kind of a. Huh. Can I just go around him, or can I have to actually have to fight him? Let's go around him.
ビリビリボン
Easy enough. Well, I was wondering if it was going to be like the other one, where it was like, hey,
これはビリビリボンプをしてメモリーへの侵入は成功したようだな
maybe I should fight him, because you never know. Like, there was two directions that I couldn't go, and so it could be that defeating him
キッドランプ
is going to.
かなり広いな
やはり見張りがおるよ
It could be that defeating him unlocks the two spots next to him, and it might have something.
どうしてここにボンプが脱走したのか止まれ
ガブットボンプの姿が見えたような一時停止して調べてみるとしよう待て テリーの耳にはホリー侵食症状がテリーの居場所は
せっかく捕まえたボンプども逃がしてたまるか。
なんと忍び足の極意を得得しておるとは大したものよ。
ボスに知られたら今月の給料がパーだ。取り囲め。もう逃げられねえぞ。あ、こいつ隙間を。ボンプのくせにずりーぞ。行かせねえぞ。ジタバタすんな。ボンプが逃げやがった。ボス、ボス。
And like, this is just taking forever. It's like, come on, dude. Just hurry up.
ビリビリボンプが最後に消えた地点から手動で復元するとし、この時点で情報がまだ足りん。データは復元した。次のメモリーを開くこともできよう。
Oh, I said just continue. Damn, it's taking way longer than I was expecting. Yeah, it seems like they kind of try to budget a certain amount of time for every single character quest, and because the first two were so short, it seems like they just packed in all the actual quest time for this one. In fact, I thought I would have. I've been like doing this for an hour and 9 minutes. Like, I guess I wouldn't have started this third part if I knew it was going to be so fucking annoying. It's just so annoyingly long. It's just like, dude, it's not only is it long, but it's also all of it within the television, which like doubles the amount of time it actually takes to do any of this shit. And like, this is excessively long. Jesus. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. This is the passage that led up to this guy. Oh, actually, I have to fight him. Oh, okay. Shit, I thought it was gonna be the other one. I was like, yeah, just lose 15% of your health to instantly kill him. But no, this is an actual fight. Shit, I should have held my. I should have done tap, 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 then held. Whoops. There was one that I would have missed it if I didn't go back and do that. Good job, me. Okay, thank God. That would have sucked so much if I had to do this entire thing all over again.
テリーはここにおるはずだ。あの 0.73% ではないか。あやつを倒せば完全に壊れておる。救助が済んだらこやつを連れて出ようぞ。
Yeah, that's fine. I already have the 3 things. Hopefully this is the last boss and I'm done.
ストレス値がもうこんなに。ターゲットはすぐ目の前だよ。チンイ、まだ耐えられる？テリーの救出の先決。我なら愛せない。配置についた。マイクは任せて。
こまで追ってきやがるとは。こいつを食らえ。
せいはん、なかなかのやり手と見た。我とて今は血と手こずるやもしれぬ。されど市民全員無事にこなたより連れ出してみせよう。一匹たりとも見捨てはせぬ。
あと50メートルもない。フォローの出口は目の前だ。
聞こえる？まだ
生き物よ、命なき存在とて頑として諦めぬ。渇望、苦痛が命であると。
僕は同じことも2度までは許すようにしているんだ。そして治安局にはもう三度お世話になっている。
誤解であるぞ。今日は礼を述べに寄っただけのこと。メンテナンスの終わったテディをホリン。
俺？気にしなくていい？
まあもし陳意が
な
ああ聞きたいことがあっ
無論この通りピンピンしておるぞ。だというのに主演のやつも。
主演さんはただ陳意にもっと自分を大切にしてほしいだ。
我とて進んで自らをないがしろにしただ。この身が玉宮であることを言ったであろう。知能機械のそのはずだ。シートに
そもそも僕たちは一度だって万が一の時の身代わりだなん。
そういうこと。マスター、特定のグループを好意的に評価する。
So maybe that's it. Like, yeah, she's just far more pragmatic and maybe far more logical than other automatons. And so because other ones have more emotions, they're maybe able to empathize with humans, treat themselves as humans far more frequently. But because she's more pragmatic and logical, she understands the difference and kind of still puts a dividing line, kind of separate them. Because, I mean, they are different and should be treated differently to a degree. You know, they aren't exactly the same and they have different needs and wants, so, you know, you shouldn't apply what humans and living beings, organic beings need. You shouldn't apply your needs to them to figure out what they need and satisfy their requirements, but yeah, she definitely is by far the most pragmatic one we've met.
治安官に？
ほっほっほ。そういえば個別訪問サービスの方は誠に残念ながら今後正規の業務内容になるそうだ。これもそうであった。前回この忌々しいこの映画。
どういうこと？ヤスが出かけててよかった。
いやじゃなかった。
憑依される側として誠力が増したように感じる。
Okay, so that's gonna be it. That was way, actually not super long. I think it took me an hour and 20 minutes to do that. It feels longer than it was. I thought I might have to actually do all the exploration and shit. I'm like, God damn, if I ever redo all this shit, it's gonna suck. But luckily, once we saw his memories, it was just like, oh no, just teleport down, and then do one little path and beat the boss. Okay, simple enough. Good thing I actually went back and fought that little tiny enemy. I passed him, I'm like, because I thought he was just going to be the same as the other one, where I was like, oh yeah, instantly beat. But then I noticed those 2 red marks. I'm like, actually, no. Like, usually when you beat the enemy next to them, it will disappear. So luckily, I went back and killed it so I could get the reward for it. I got that 3rd reward, so I don't have to do the entire thing all over again, so that's cool. Yeah, that was interesting. It didn't really talk too much. I mean, we learned a little bit more about her, and it still doesn't really answer a lot of my questions about how like artificial life is being treated in this world. It seems well enough, but like hard to say because like there's just so many ways that people are interacting with it. But either way, it was an enjoyable quest. Now I just have the 2 more left, Bernice and Lighter, and then I will be all caught up with, I think, all content in this game besides like the recurring weekly shit. Obviously, those things will just continue on forever. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.